Well, yeah, we are live, aren't we? Live from the GAMEIS conference in Savannah, Georgia, the Deep South. This is the K12 Tech Talk podcast. I am Josh, and next to me in person is Chris. Hello, Chris.
What's up, guys?
And on the other side of him, we haven't seen him in probably 6 months, close to a year, is Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hi, I was at Cosin.
Oh, that's right.
A month ago. Thanks, Josh.
It wasn't a month ago. Well, I only saw you for like 6 minutes before I had to leave.
That's
so
true.
We're here. We're in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. This is our second time here at the GAMEIS conference. We're really excited about it.
Yeah.
And they have us in a
hamster
booth.
Hamster cage.
We got
we had our own booth. It's really nice.
we got three glass walls.
When you text and said that we're going to have a booth, I envisioned a booth in there,
Sure.
in the vendor hall. But no,
This is like, I think they got this from the like a stage of a magician where they would like
Yes.
fill it with water. And
Yes.
you would be in a straight jacket.
I was thinking more along the lines of like a hearing at The Hague where they have the bad guy in the glass cage so he can't escape jail.
So if you're listening, you have wonderful images of what it looks like right now. That's all of those images are accurate.
But this is like the most leveled up thing we've done.
This is pretty cool.
This is a nice thing. We are not facing the river this year,
Which is unfortunate. But I'm going to peel back this sign and we're going to look at the river.
we're just facing the vendors.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, one of our
one
of our friends is here. David's here.
David with NTP is here. His whole crew is here, and I think they said that they sold out their sponsors this year. Even pulled in a table this morning as they added one more sponsor, like an on-site person that showed up.
And thanks to us, the attendance is they're setting records with their attendance.
Thanks to us,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Had nothing to do with the marketing company they hired. Yeah.
No, but we're really excited, and we get to present 2 sessions too. So just like most of the conferences that we get to be on site, we're going to interview people here with GAMEIS. Really excited about that as well.
And I think David's roped me into presenting with him this afternoon, I think, too. So I need to get more details about that.
Check the slide deck.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're pumped.
All right.
All right, Mark, we're hanging out with Craig Dinn. Craig, how's it going?
All right, how are y'all today?
Not too bad. You know, we're in this hamster cage thing that you guys have given us, or the fish bowl, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We just asked some other board members if next year if this could be picked up and then face the river. And we just kind of got the same as what you're doing. Like, hey, you
The
guys
nodding, the shaking the head.
you guys
I
are very
agree that
demanding.
The river view is a lot better than looking straight into the vendor hall, right?
It's very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much for the hospitality this
No
week.
problem.
This is
Thank
such
y'all
an
so much
awesome
for coming.
conference. Yeah. This is one of my favorite conferences. You've got Savannah, which is an amazing city to explore. It's a quick ferry ride across the river to the conference themselves. And this is a huge conference. This is one of your biggest, right?
It is. Well, for us, yes. We have over 400 members come to this conference this year. It's 20% growth from last year.
Awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's great. So what's going on in the state of Georgia right now?
State of Georgia, a lot of new things. Obviously, we do have the new cell phone thing starting this year, K through 8 in August. All kindergarten through 8th grade will no longer be able to carry their cell phones in schools. So all schools are going through, do I buy the little pouch with the lock?
Yeah.
Do I, tell a kid just leave it at home, or do I have them leave it in their bag and don't take it out? So a lot of districts are doing different things. Newton County, where we're at, we've decided to go with put it in your bag and don't get it out. Teachers will manage the process. And then, of course, next year, starting in August again of 27, it will be everybody K through 12
Okay.
will not be able to have their cell phones.
Okay. And is that, well received by districts, or more districts saying, yeah, we're already doing that already?
Newton County, we're kind of already doing that. It was kind of up to the administration of the school and how they're doing it. But it's been well received. I think everybody realizes that there's a lot of time spent on cell phones and a lot of things going on with the cell phones that are distractions.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing. And I think the more of the issue is, where do we get the budget money, right, if we are going to buy pouches and things like that, and who's responsible for it if the pouch is lost and things like that. But I think it's well received. And I know Newton County, we're excited about it, and I know the staff is too.
What are the other major topics going on in the conference this year?
Obviously, security is a big topic every year at this conference. Just kind of the day in, day out budget has always been a big thing. This year especially, a lot of districts are struggling with their budgets in the state of Georgia. I know we've had to take a lot of cuts at Newton County in our budgets as well. So, how do you get the money to cover the renewals that you have to do, and then the things that you would like to do, whether that be a SOC or whether that be like something along those lines.
Yeah, I have looked at my renewal budget line. It's just called tech fees, and that thing has grown and grown and grown and grown. So to get a cut, a lot of that stuff you can't just throw out the window. You need these things in place. Yeah. So those are hard decisions for a tech department to make.
It is.
Are districts looking to the state for advice, or do you think that it's more of a collaborative environment here at the conference, like we've got to settle and we've got to figure out solutions on our own?
So I think it's a little of both. Actually, this year was the first year the Georgia Department of Education actually we had people come from Godot. We have them come every year, but we've actually had people come here and meet a day before the conference got started. And there's three major conferences, really three major tech conferences in Georgia. There's GAMEIS, which is the conference that we're at right now, and then there's GAETC, which is the Georgia Ed Tech Conference, which is more teacher-oriented, more leadership, more technical teacher-leader. And then we have a GLED, excuse me, and GLED is our CyberCon conference. In the CyberCon, they, of course, there's a tech conference, and there are COSIN. GLED is our COSIN, state COSIN rep. So we had all three boards come together yesterday with Godot and the Georgia Department of Education, and we started talking about these things. What do we want to see from the state, or how do we want the state to help us? And we're kind of trying to start a whole committee now of where can we reach out and how can we help each other in all three different conferences, and how can the state help us as well.
That's great. Now, speaking of COSIN, it sounds like you guys also have a number of members going through the CEDL certification.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really nice about this conference, and we try to cover the cost of that, GAMEIS and GLET and GATC. So you can take the class. So if you take the class at GATC, which is September, October timeframe, you then can take the test at GAMEIS, or you can take the class at GAMEIS and then take the test with GATC.
That's awesome. How many members do you have going through that?
I want to say it was 15 people this year took the test.
All right. That's awesome. You're going to be one of the top states then.
We're looking at it. We're trying to get there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for having us again, and we hope that you have a great day and a great time at GAMEIS. Thanks for having us.
Hey, thank you so much for coming. I mean, you guys are a large draw.
Great.
Help get people here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're hanging out with Jason and Vicki. Can you guys tell us where you're from and why are you here? Vicki, you go first.
Okay, I'm with the Effingham County School District, and I'm the board chair.
Awesome.
And I am here today. This is my third year attending, and to learn more about what our IT department does and what their needs are and how it impacts our district and all that.
Let me just say, I think it's absolutely fascinating how much support you're showing him by being here. And I wish more board members would do that because, and you can speak to this is your third year. Mm-hmm. First year, how much were your eyes opened to the fact of what his department deals with that you don't necessarily hear about on a day-to-day basis or should hear about, just normal stuff. And then you throw in all the threats and other things. What was that outcome from the first year? What was that response like?
Well, it's interesting. Like this morning I was getting ready and I was thinking about the IT department and I actually told Jason, I said, you don't really realize, I feel like the IT departments are often put on a back burner because you don't realize you need them until there's a problem and you need something fixed. Sure. So I would say, that first year, it was pretty eye-opening. We actually, was it the first year that we had suffered the attack?
So we had a cyber attack 6 days after the end of GAMEIS. First year, and we were very blessed to have two of our board members here to listen to a panel discuss cyber attacks that other school districts have had. So that, I can't tell you how much value having them here to listen to that conversation. In fact, that very day that we had the attack, I remember walking into the room to tell our superintendent, and our board happened to be there. And Vicki looked at me and she said, like they said, it's not if but when, right? And that was like, amazing. Everything's going to be fine.
Right.
So, Vicki, you came 1 year and then you came back
twice.
Yeah.
Again, that's amazing. That speaks well.
Well, and every year I feel like I learned something new. We were testing out a product, and we were actually a little frustrated with it, I'll say. And I sat in on a breakout session for that particular product, and another school was utilizing it, and we learned how they were utilizing it, and it was a game changer for us. And so then we ended up moving forward with the product. So, I mean, there's definite value in what we learn here, and I mean, I feel like I get something new out of it every time I come. So I'm happy to be here to support the department and everything that they're doing.
So that's being here and seeing other districts deal with incidents like that. How did that shape your response? I mean, he just already said it's not when he came into the room to tell you about the incident you guys had right after the conference. It was your comment was it's not if but when. Mm-hmm. How did that make that conversation with other board members easier to get them on the same page of this isn't necessarily our fault? Nothing really failed. This isn't his fault.
Right, 100%. Yeah, because, I mean, like you said, 6 days before that, we were here learning about it. And other districts had already experienced it. So it was it definitely made the conversation easier for sure. I feel like,
absolutely. I mean, we have a very supportive board already. I never would have guessed that there was going to be any problem, right, with going in there and explaining. But just not having to say that, like other school districts say that it's not if but when, having your board chair say that to you, I mean, it's invaluable.
Well, sure. Because the first thought probably in your mind going into that situation is I'm going to have to defend my job and make sure they understand that I did do everything I needed to be doing correctly.
So you could look at that one or two ways. You could say that, or you could look at it and go, y'all don't know what to do without me right now.
That's true.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, like I said, I can't speak to how valuable that was and truly what it means, not just for our school district, just for our team that's here, but for others. I had a few of them come up to me the first year that we were here and go up to Vicki and thank her for being here on their behalf, just because what that meant to just for everyone to have that support. I mean, it's absolutely it's invaluable.
Fascinating.
Yep, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Jason and Vicki. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope that you have a great time at GAMEIS.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Clint Winter from the Elbert County School District in Elberton, Georgia. And who have you brought with you?
I brought with me, I always screw up your last name. We've known each other forever.
I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Kuczka? Is it
Kuczka.
Kuczka. Mark Kuczka.
Something like that.
Cirrus Networks and is our managed network provider.
Awesome.
And we've been doing a lot of stuff in Elbert County lately.
Now, before we really get into the meat of the conversation,
yes,
you guys came with the clarification from a previous episode.
We're a little concerned with some fake news.
We do believe words have meanings, and in a recent episode, I think you guys portrayed see, I like spiders, and I think you portrayed the brown recluse incorrectly.
Not us. This was Josh.
Well, this was Josh, and Josh is not presently in the room, so we can really bash on Josh, but I think he owes the fans a retraction because a brown recluse spider is venomous. It's not poisonous. There's a big difference, and words have. And guys. Hey, I'm not going to point out the obvious, but to point out the obvious, we're in education. we should do better to get this stuff right.
We try to educate our children against fake news, and how to really decipher and use those higher order thinking skills to know the difference between poisonous and venomous.
I mean, when I take a high intellect outfit like this, and I'm driving down the road listening to a podcast, and I'm screaming at the radio because you guys got it wrong.
Yeah, we really do on many occasions have to apologize for Josh.
Well, we'll let it slide this time.
All right, well, thank you.
But like in the future.
All right, so tell us what's going on in Elbert County School District.
We've got a lot going on. Two of our big initiatives our big initiative, believe it or not, I don't know if y'all heard of this or not, but AI is a big thing.
Heard about it.
Probably heard about it. But we're really trying to put a lot of effort into rolling out AI effectively to our teachers and students. I brought Mark along because with his company as well, and what we work with them is they're doing a lot of AI on their side with the cybersecurity and helping us make sure that we're protected 24/7. So it's kind of an all-encompassing theme.
So how are you using AI at the networking level?
Well, I'll give you a real specific, real-world example with our friends in Elberton. A few years ago, one of the gaps that we had in our defenses was network monitoring. And we've always been an advocate for Zabbix. Zabbix is a great product, and it's free to a point, right? I mean, it's not free. You have to invest a lot of upfront, to just put all of your devices and things in there that you want to monitor, and then you've got to upkeep that. So it's truly not a free thing. So we found that tool Avik, which is, of course, it's Zabbix that creeps through your network, right? And it's a wonderful tool. We put that in Elbert, really helped us with their frontline tech staff in nailing down the little problems that end up sucking up a lot of time if you don't get them early, like, a printer's messed up, or you've got a port that's flapping on a switch, and so you've got maybe a camera going up and down. Yeah, AP going down.
One classroom going up and down.
Yeah, and so Avik was such a great tool, and then we got the renewal bill this past year, and they've gone, hey, no offense to anybody out there from Avik that's listening, it's a wonderful product, but it got priced so high. We called Clint and said, look, man, at this point, because a lot of us at my company have programming or programmers background. We're Java programmers, Python programmers, and so you don't have to be a programmer to build great tools with AI, with like Claude Code. But if you are a programmer, it gives you a little bit of an edge. I think it helps you refine the prompts and things that you're telling Claude to do, and I think you could get a much better product in a much faster period of time. And so what we did is we looked at that invoice and we're like, hell no, we're not going to pay that. So don't renew. And we took Libre NMS, okay, and we built some architecture on top of that to basically give us all the feature set that we had in Avik plus some. And now it's code that we own. So now Clint and I can sit down with his team and say, what do you not get out of this tool that you presently want? And the development cycle for that is measured in a few hours, not days or weeks. Yeah. So it's a real world example of how, and BitSite's another one. Like, we had a bunch of the K12s that we partner with loved BitSite.
Yeah, we got it from the state.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. We used it all the time to help to continue to see what we need to work on, how we're growing and that kind of stuff. And BitSite, like Elbert, again, is a good example. Clint and I sat down and looked at their BitSite score, and they were getting dinged on their score for some things like servers that had vulnerabilities because they hadn't been patched in 5 years, right? And the Avik tool helped us narrow down where we could find those actually on our network, and then we could go in and make those BitSite recommended changes, and then BitSite, when it scanned the network again, you see that vulnerability was patched. Now we get our score went from a C to an A in that area. Yeah. And so we thought that was a wonderful tool. And just when we started really embracing it and really fixing things on the network, guess what? The state took it away. Right. So that's another tool that we sat down and said, what's missing in our toolbox, or what's available, but now we have to pay a lot of money for, and for a fraction of the cost. I mean, for example, our replacement for Avik was going to cost Albert $20,000. Our solution comes in about $6,000, and that's just for some of our development costs and some ongoing things that we know we want to add to it. So for a fraction of the cost, and then not to go too far off on a tangent, but for folks that are listening by the way, Mark, just tell me when to shut up. I do tend to be verbose, but this one last comment, there was a session here earlier today about another school district, Dawson County Schools, that was building out some infrastructure monitoring tools. Those guys just sat down and banged that stuff out, and they're not programmers. They don't really know what they're doing with Claude. This is the first time going through something like that with them. And I know those guys. Like, we do some business with them. So I got with them after and said, hey, let's just sit down and kind of share. Like, I don't want to sell you the stuff we've built. You guys are on the same track as us. You may have some features or some things that maybe we haven't implemented into ours, or maybe we've done some things a little differently. And, my mindset's always, we're a community. It's literally all of us against the bad actors.
Yeah.
And so I think if we if we all had that mentality and all, just like at this conference, sit down and share what works, what doesn't work, and there's 10 ways of going from A to B, so what works for one district might not for another. But I think if we all kind of share, especially those of us that are out there building these powerful tools and using AI to accelerate that process, I think that's where we need to really be sharing resources.
So back to Clint, are you looking at your partners to be able to take advantage of the new features and capabilities of AI, or are you starting to say, hey, as a school district, maybe we should start to learn things like cloud code and be able to...
a little bit of both. Sitting through some sessions today, just kind of seeing like some of the dashboards and things that are being built with cloud code, and just thinking about some of the things that we had been paying $15,000, $20,000 for.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to be able to do that. But also, at the end of the day, and what I appreciate with our managed with Cirrus and with Mark is at the end of the day, like our job is to make it so teachers can teach and kids can learn. I mean, that's my go-to for everything. So if our partners can build tools and that kind of thing that can free up our staff to be able to have those relationships with kids, to be able to teach kids, and to continue to move our district forward, then it's great to have a little bit of both in both worlds.
That's cool.
So.
We are hearing, or we have heard for the last few years about the dangers of AI in kids, and we're going to continue to hear about it. It's great to hear of more of a back office approach to AI and how the use of AI by Cirrus Networks and by your school district has allowed your teachers to teach and your students to learn. And you guys can spend more money where it matters in the classroom rather than
and that's the thing too, and back to our school initiative this year too, is finding a vendor and really working with a really, really safe, managed way to roll out AI to kids. That it's I put on my dad hat. I'm father of 14-year-old twins, and just thinking about making sure that they have the tools that they need to learn, but also recognize that AI ain't going anywhere, and then be able to, make time in our classrooms, to make time for our teachers to clearly understand it, but also be able to clearly help kids know how to navigate and to learn about it. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing what you guys are doing.
Appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for the retraction.
The spiders of the world do appreciate it.
That's right.
They're venomous, not poisonous.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, a quick sponsor shout out to Meter. You can check out Meter at meter.com/K12 Tech Talk. Visit meter.com/K12 Tech Talk to book a demo. They can do managed networking, do your switches, all that good stuff. Think of them as like subscription-based networking. Check out Meter. All right, we are hanging out with Rick Womack with Foothills Regional High School.
That's right.
And where is that at?
That is all over Georgia. We are based in Athens, Georgia, but we have campuses across about 16, 17 different counties.
That sounds absolutely crazy to me and Mark, I think, right?
How many students do you have and staff?
Yeah, we're at about 2,800 students, and then we have about 800 staff right now, 8 to 850. It bounces around. So, but that sounds really heavy on the staff ratio, but there's probably 30 or 40 of us that are full-time. Majority of those are part-time staff.
We were talking about this before we started recording, but what makes your high school or your regional high school so unique?
Yeah, so we were classified by the Georgia DOE as a completion high school. We're a district, just like any other school district, but we focus only on high school, trying to get kids across the finish line with a diploma. And so we partner with school districts across the state to offer coursework in the evening. We hire a lot of their staff part-time. And, the traditional high school model doesn't fit for everybody. It's for the kid who is experiencing bullying or pregnancy or has a rough home life or even homeless. We have quite a few homeless students. We're trying to help those guys get across the finish line with a diploma.
It's really awesome and very commendable. And so you have to wrangle all kinds of IT directors across the state because the students are attending classes at your school at their home district location. Is that correct?
The majority of the time they are. Yeah, we have to have meaningful partnerships with our partner districts, and that goes across not just the IT side, but the buildings and grounds, because we're using their facilities. And so it's helpful to have those, and we're able to keep those relationships going.
But when you make IT decisions, you have to make decisions that impact 16, 17 different IT directors' home campuses. Is that right?
Potentially, because we're not rolling out network infrastructure into their campus. We're relying on them. We just have to make sure they're okay with it. So right now we're in the middle of a phone refresh across our campuses. We had to make sure, we're going to be able to put VoIP on your campus, and you're going to be, because we actually have one campus that still has an analog line. So that's been interesting.
When you go to a conference like this and you see IT directors from the schools, do you approach them in the hallway like, hey, can you really unblock Schoology for me?
Still learning a lot of them. Yeah. And honestly, you asked about going out into the schools. I don't go out into the schools a lot, other than the inventory, maybe once or twice a year. So it does make it a challenge, and it also makes it meaningful to come to something like this because we're able to connect with those people.
And your staff is also in all those locations too, right?
Right. We hire a lot of part-time. Well, most of our staff is part-time. They're retired educators, or they're educators who are looking for a second job just to pick up a few hours a week. It's been really helpful to have those. Those guys are really facilitators. Most of our coursework is delivered through Canvas LMS, so that's how that happens.
So when you come to a conference like this and you see there's topics like AI, cybersecurity, data privacy, how does that impact your work? Because, I can think of how it's going to impact, these topics impact my specific district, but you now need to think about these topics in the context of 16, 17 different counties.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think for me in my lane as a regional technician is to mainly think about the people that I serve, which are our office staff, and then there are a handful of people who are with Windows devices or Apple devices, and how I can support them in that. Not necessarily with regard to student AI use and those things. That's really going to be left more at their local place, local district.
Very cool. Now, you also said something very interesting. You landed in this career path. You're a career changer.
Yeah,
midlife.
Late in life.
Midlife.
I like midlife. Sounds a lot better. Thank you.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, I had 30 years in ministry, so I spent most of my time in pastoral leadership, youth pastor like Chris has done or is doing, I think. Senior pastor, I've done denominational work, missions work, taken mission teams to different places around the world, and really just hit a wall. Something that we don't talk a lot about is mental health and mental stability, and I'm glad to see that's being talked about a lot more. But I hit a wall post-COVID and needed a transition, and so this has been great, for me.
Has it been great, Rick?
Yes, it is.
Ministry for K12 Tech.
Yeah, and the last 5 years has been pretty uneventful in K12 Tech. Great time to transition into this world.
Now, I was telling somebody recently that, when you hand a Chromebook to a dad who is picking it up at your location, and he's homeless, but you don't know he's homeless, but he's homeless, and he's picking it up for his daughter to make sure that she gets a diploma, that's winning right there.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Special.
Yeah, there's some similar lanes of how heads are wired in K12 Tech and ministry about you're wanting the kid to have a successful life.
Yeah.
You're wanting great things for the family. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And the mental health piece, I'm glad that you're saying that out loud. We talk about, again, I guess the similarities, both of those need community.
That's right.
You need to find in K12 Tech, find your community that you can talk about the bad things that are happening, the things that your school district's dealing with, just like the ministry stuff.
Yes.
Well, we thank you for everything you're doing here at the conference as well as back in your home district. We need more districts and more schools like that. It's such a powerful thing for students to have as a second chance at a high school diploma. So thank you very much for your work here at the conference and back in your district.
Thank you, guys, and thank you guys for what you do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, I'm hanging out with Allison Kensey. Allison, how's it going?
Excellent, thanks.
So we roped you into this glass room that we're in. We've been joking about being like the hamster cage.
Absolutely.
Like the fishbowl looking thing. So glad that you're here with us. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Why are you here? What do you do here?
I have been involved with GAMEIS for about 9 years. We have been brought on to help manage logistics and basically organize the conference. The volunteer board does an amazing job on content and the direction of the industry. But they really needed somebody to come and execute on all their ideas. So they brought us in.
Awesome. Yeah, we've been saying on the podcast as build up to this, GAMEIS is not just a conference for Georgians, we've been saying, but it's a national conference. We want people from out of this state to come. We want every K12 Tech in this state to come, but it's a great conference for K12 Techs. And tell us a little bit about the attendees. I know you had some attendance growth this year.
Yeah, we've really gotten very, very intentional about reaching out to as many school districts as we can reach, and our marketing was focused on that. Our messaging was focused on that. We try to make GAMEIS as accessible financially to district attendees as possible, and we had some luck this year.
Yeah, awesome. And it's a very family-friendly event, I would say, as well. I know there's like an ice cream social tonight that
Absolutely.
families are invited to.
Yeah.
And that's like a tradition, right?
It is. Well, I mean, getting away in the summer. We've always held this conference in the summer, and in a destination like Savannah, people like to come and visit, bring their kids, go to the pool, wander around Savannah, see the history, and yes, some of the conference is very intentionally designed for kids with the ice cream social. We're going out on the riverboat tomorrow evening, and families are welcome.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then we are sitting across from the sponsor area. This thing takes a lot of sponsors to put on. I know you're happy with the sponsor turnout, too.
We've sold out for the third year in a row, and we've been very intentional in not making it such a big exhibit hall that the proportion of district attendees to sponsors is somehow off. So we've maintained a size exhibit hall that's accessible to everybody, but I think that might be growing too.
Yeah, awesome. And then I know the sessions, and we just got to do a session just a little bit ago. I know that's I've heard that's changed over time. A lot of the sessions used to be more vendor led. I know there's a big old block that are K12 Tech's leading sessions, and again, a very K12 Tech conference with K12 Techs and what they need to know, what they need to learn about in mind.
Exactly, and I think that there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning here that there wasn't before. That has been a real focus for the past few years. So it isn't just sponsors at the podium. It is peers that are learning from each other, and the content is getting a little bit denser. It is getting a little bit more meaningful for the audience.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we are here with Keith Osburn. Osburn from the Georgia DOE. We began to ask you about your background, and we immediately said we got to hit the record on this because it's too golden.
So tell us all of that again, please.
All right. So I am Keith, and I'm the Chief Information Officer and the Deputy Superintendent for Technology Services for the Georgia Department of Education, a role that I've held for about 5, and I've been at the Department of Education for 10, but I've been in education for about 34 years. Prior to this role, I was at the LEA level, what we call the local education agency level, as a CIO. And then 100 years ago, I was a classroom teacher.
Oh, wow.
I taught chemistry and physics. And then whenever technology entered onto the scene, it seemed like there was a great relationship that happened, and here I am today, fellas. So.
That's fantastic. So what's going on in Georgia these days?
Well, lots. Certainly, we pay both very close attention to what's happening at the district level, but we always have one ear to what's happening at the national level as well, too. We consider ourselves to be a very forward-thinking state. Mm-hmm. Certainly, one of the huge benefits that I have is that I work for the Honorable State School Superintendent Richard Woods, who is the longest-serving superintendent in the nation.
Wow.
And he brought me on. I'm an appointee of his. With one role, and he said, hey, I want technology aligned with education, and you're the guy for that. Can you take that role on? And I said, yes, sir, I can do that.
So we heard at the conference that you have a cell phone ban for K-8 that took effect this week, right?
Yes, some of that's coming into play. Yeah, there's K-8, and then obviously we're going into the high school role there as well, too, with time.
Okay. What else is going on in terms of trends that you're seeing at the national level and in your schools?
Wow. So from the national level, I'll add that I am the board chair for One Ed Tech for the executive board there as well, too. We play a lot in that whole realm and see great value in open standards and certainly see the benefit. Georgia is very much a local control state, which means that I don't dictate a lot of what's happening at the local level. I listen to what's happening at the local level and make sure that I can support that. certainly we are the liaison between law and the interpretation of that down at the local level. And so that's where we spend a good amount of our time. Now, I have a full team of people that deal with everything from data collections to content integration. Virtual school, we have one of those as well, too. And then certainly, if you've met my CTO, CISO, Nathan Miller, you know that we spend and we dwell a lot of time in that. I say that we're very forward-thinking because we see the value and have seen the value of technology inside of that. That role is ever-changing. Mm-hmm. Certainly, we're very abreast of what's happening nationally. We're listening to those that are thinking about screen time and whatnot and how to dwell with that and how to make sure that at the end of the day, I oftentimes say that in the world of educational technology that we're moving into a new era that I call the efficacy era.
Yeah.
And I think really the demand of stakeholders is an expectation of saying don't just acquire technology, but look for impact of technology to enhance what's happening with the pedagogy inside of the classroom. The last piece I'll say to that is that I'm a huge fan of teachers. And man, that's where the magic happens inside the classroom. So I think the world of educational technology better be very well aligned with making sure that we amplify that incredibly powerful being that's inside of the classroom and enable her to do the job that she wants to do and is trained very well to do. So.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fantastic.
Yeah. Good deal.
Awesome. Thanks.
GAMEIS has been great, and our next conference that we're going to be at is Midwest Tech Talk. Go to MidwestTechTalk.com. That is July 19th and 20th and 21st. It's our 10th conference there. Going to be a big deal. Some great sponsors at Midwest Tech Talk. Manage Methods. They can manage your Microsoft and Google environments. And then CDWG. I've been using CDWG for years. They can do your services, computers, printers, and all the goods. Check out CDWG.
So we have a new victim, we'll say, in the hot seat in the hamster box of death here.
That we love.
We do love this, but I will say it has been a little bit of hazard. I think Mark has walked into that panel nearly 5 or 6 times because it's so you can see through it so well.
The glass is so clean.
Yeah, the glass is just invisible. So we're loving GAMEIS. The board president has sat down with us. Big deal. This security guards walked him over. He is with us.
Detail.
Yeah, exactly. You're an important guy. So introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and what you got going on here with GAMEIS.
Yeah, great. Yeah, my name is Brian DeRose, and I'm the executive director of technology, Dawson County Schools, Georgia. It's about an hour north of Atlanta. 4,500 students roughly, and this is my 9th year on the board at GAMEIS, and we're trying to focus on growing the content for district attendees here. So in the past, it's been vendor-led sessions, which has been great, but this year and last year we're trying to get more district attendees to present, so peer-to-peer content.
Yeah. Yep. A couple conversations that we've had with just people that stop in and say hi.
Sure.
That's been one of the positive comments, has been that shift from vendor-led sessions to peer-to-peer,
yes,
and that they're getting more out of that peer-to-peer conversation and presentation.
Absolutely.
While vendor conversations are good, you see products,
100%.
but you distill it down, it ends up being a sales pitch kind of thing.
Yes.
But when you're seeing another district do something cool that you can likely go back and implement as well,
absolutely,
that's special. That's awesome.
And I think that's what's going to skyrocket the growth at this conference, because the feedback I've gotten is the really good content that we've had, but also that people want to go to more, and they're all at the same time. So we're going to focus next year at growing, at redoing the matrix a little bit and growing the conference with content, district attendee, peer-to-peer content.
Yeah. So you guys are doing something special. You talked about it before we started. And I love this idea. You have a cycle.
He keeps talking about it, actually.
I do. Because I've wanted to get CETL certified for the last couple of years, and I just can't take myself to spend the money for it. But you guys have developed a cycle that you've started a workflow to get more and more people CETL certified.
Yes. So this conference started out in the 80s, focusing on network and network infrastructure for K12. In the past, I would say maybe 5 or 6 years, we've shifted the focus to district leaders and supporting district leaders. So with that, we started maybe 2 or 3 years ago with Amy Denman. She's amazing. her and I are both on the boards at GAMEIS and GATC, which is the teacher conference in Georgia, teacher-focused conference in Georgia. And so we offer a CETL cohort here at GAMEIS. So we usually have sponsors pay for that. So you can apply to attend. And then you join that cohort. You go through the training, and then in our November conference in GATC, you can apply to take the test. Now, really, you could take the test any time, but that kind of gives you a target of a test to take in November. And then the idea is at the GATC conference to offer the same cohort, and then in July, you can apply to take the test as well.
That's great. You've got a cycle of 2 testing cycles, 2 cohorts going on.
Yes.
What can you share what the numbers are like? How many folks have you gotten? Do you know how many got certified yesterday or this week?
That's a good question. I know the cohorts are 10 to 20 max, I believe, right now. We can grow that as well if there's an interest, because I believe in, and I don't know the details, but I believe in the CETL certification, you have to have a minimum number of years experience.
I think it's like 10 years.
Yeah, something like that. So,
or 5 years.
So people apply based on their position and their experience, right?
Sure.
And so I know that we've last year I think we had 100% pass rate, and this year I don't know yet.
That's
I
awesome.
haven't checked with Amy.
And for people that are listening that don't know what we're saying, CETL stands for Certified Education Technology Leader. It's a certification test developed by COSN, so it's part of the COSN development and professional development for IT leaders in K-12. It's a fantastic certification, and if you're in leadership in IT in K-12, it's something you should look at.
So you did a session about AI, and then a little bit deeper than that, vibe coding. Can you just unpack what that session was about? Because we heard some good things about that as well.
Yeah, so 30,000-foot view, my network engineer has vibe coded a passive AI network monitoring tool, a SIEM, which typically would cost a district between $20,000 and $100,000 depending on the service, right? And so the tool, the AI agent, basically just monitors our network for any anomalies in network traffic, and will alert us if there are any anomalies. Read only. There's no write access to anything. It's just watching the traffic on our network. And then the second session was, as a director, vibe coding some solutions just personally right now, project management, total cost of ownership for my devices, because I do a buyback. I do a 4-year lease, 3-year refresh cycle, and then sell back my devices to pay for the 4th year of the lease, right? So I want to look at my total cost of ownership of all my fleet. So I've got an API connection to my MDM that pulls the data, all the stuff I've got in my MDM, and then I have AI analyze my strategic sellback and buyback strategies in the next 3 years so I can maximize my returns on my devices that I got in my fleet.
What infrastructure or LLM are you using to do that vibe coding?
We use for the main engine is Claude or Anthropic.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah. And I can't say. I mean, I'm looking right now. I've contacted Anthropic to look at K12 solution. There aren't many K12 solutions on Anthropic. However, the human, I believe it's a human, emailed me back, and he had a picture.
Was his name Claude?
He had a picture. So his name was Claude, right?
Yeah.
Claude.
He's like, no, really, I'm Claude.
But their privacy is the same as Gemini, right? So for Google districts, Gemini, they don't use any data you put in to train models.
Okay.
Yep. So the privacy is the same. It's the same posture as Google.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I think the hot take on that, too, is interesting because, and you mentioned this, a district maybe should look at hiring a software engineer to help the tech department.
If I had if I could convince my board or my superintendent to let me hire whoever I wanted, my next hire would be a software engineer that could vibe code solutions for our district. Absolutely. And save thousands. Now, the downside to that is if you vibe code solutions for your district, it's custom to your district, which is amazing. However, If I leave,
Right.
or my vibe coder leaves, who keeps the updates, and then who runs the show, right? With that solution.
Right.
So that's the downside.
Yep. Interesting. Well,
Awesome.
We appreciate your time today. We appreciate the conference and
Absolutely.
being invited for a second year. This is an amazing facility that you guys have this at, and it's always a great time.
Yeah, thank you. Next year, we got to get these windows facing the river.
Yeah.
We love that, man.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, we got our first victim here in the hamster cage of death. Introduce yourself. You're from Checkpoint.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Daniel Pollack, Checkpoint Software, here in the box of death, and I'm hoping to get out alive. So we're going to see how that goes this morning. I'm in a pretty rough crowd, but I'm here. Josh, you use our software at the office, so I'm hoping I have a better chance than most of making it out of here with my skin on.
Let's talk about GAMEIS real quick. Why are you guys here at GAMEIS? Why is it important to Checkpoint? Why is it important to come to events like this and talk to tech directors and people in the field?
No, it's really the quality of people that this conference brings. This is my second year doing this. I did this last year, and it was a very good conference for us because the people that are here are the decision makers that are looking for the best ways to protect their schools and to protect their students, and this is the top show for that as far as the state of Georgia goes. So we were first in line to sign back up for this year, and we'll be here again next year.
So when people stop by your booth and want to know more about Checkpoint and what you guys are doing, what's one of the top products that you're pushing people to?
Well, Checkpoint's really known as inventing the stateful inspection firewall in '94, but I work for the email division selling email security, and we started as a company, Avanan, and we actually invented one of the first to market for API-based behavioral email security. So here we are a lot of years later, and we feel that we're the best. There's a lot of competition in the space, but we are in line, and we're also post-delivery. So we're the best of both worlds in the email security space.
So one of our big partners, David and NTP, they sell Avanan, and I've had Avanan for going on a year now. One of the things that I think is undersold with your product is the ability to encrypt outbound mail with a keyword or based on DLP rules, stuff like that. That was kind of an afterthought on our onboarding process. I'm like, man, this is key because more and more districts, more and more insurance companies are asking that questions of school districts saying, hey, do you have a method of encrypting email on the outbound side? So that's something your tool does that I don't know that a lot of people, when you talk email security, I don't know that encryption is one of those key points that gets talked about with your product.
It kind of depends on who the customer is, but it is true. We call that secure messaging. It is in our DLP offer, and we've had this for half a decade, so this is a pretty mature product for us. But everything in this space is really use case driven. You can't be everything to everyone. You really have to understand the needs of the customer and kind of what's driving their decision and their purchases, and make sure you're the right fit. Because if you're not, then you need to get out of the way. I mean, you can't be everything to everyone, and that's just the way it is in this space.
So for people wondering, there's two big email players out there, Office 365 and Google. You work with both?
Yes, we work with both.
Okay. So what is the reaction of school districts that install your product, either for a proof of concept or first week use? What's that experience like with the amount of messages that they're preventing and catching in that first period of time?
Yeah, well, the install takes 15 minutes, right? Yeah. We install as an enterprise app in O365 and in Google. We catch a lot of phishing, and people really can't believe what their security is missing. And we catch a lot of stuff, and we block pre-delivery. So this isn't getting delivered to the inbox and then being pulled back out. We're blocking in the O365 cloud itself. And so people are really surprised at our efficacy or our catch rate and really what they're missing and what's getting through. The other thing that people really get excited about is the reduction of man or people hours that they need to actually go and chase phishing once a solution like Checkpoint email security gets put in place. It reduces the amount of time that an administrator or SOC has to spend chasing these events and chasing these reported phishing.
One of the things that I've been most impressed with is there are shady retirement companies that pretend to be our state pension program, and they'll just flat email our entire directory tree, and Avanan picks those up and quarantines those messages on the inbound side before it even hits Google. Like you said, it's pre-delivery. Google was allowing those messages to be delivered to the inbox where Avanon's stepping in and saying, no, these are shady emails. We're preventing these from getting delivered.
Yeah, if you look at the history and what we're up against from an attack perspective, account takeover is big. People pretending to be someone else, right? This is huge. And now it's about stealing Microsoft credentials and logins. And when you talk about business email compromise or account takeover, it's the number 2 most costly attack that's out there behind mass credential loss. I think Google, I Googled it about a month ago, and I think it was $5.1 million is the actual cost per incident of that happening blended across the globe. So we see a lot of that because it's lucrative, right? So we see a lot of that stuff. A lot of what we're seeing today is pretty interesting. We're seeing a shift to what we call email agent hijacking. And there's a lot of AI agents that are now between the email and the end user. There's Copilot in Microsoft. There's out-of-office agents. A lot of people have digital assistants that process email before it hits their inbox. And now people are putting prompt injections in the messages in the body of the email in 0-point type so a human can't see them, with messages on any AI between the sender and the recipient to take an action before that email is delivered. So we're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff that's in the market today. But as you said, account takeover, it's lucrative and people are out there, right? They get in there, they get in your environment, they change ACH payment numbers, they change PO and account numbers, and, people are stealing money, and that's real hard cash. We hear these stories every week.
Daniel, you've given me something else to worry about, something new to worry about, so I'm going to ask you to leave. We appreciate your time with us
Josh,
this morning.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
I made it out of the box of death. Woohoo!
All right, I would say this is a special segment here at the GAMEIS conference. I am here with Annette. Annette, would you say hi?
Hello.
And Annette, for those that don't know, who are you related to here with the podcast?
I am Josh's wife.
And then we're here with Sarah. Sarah, who are you related to at the podcast?
I'm related to no one.
That would be Mark.
Sorry, yes. Mark Racine. Yes.
Josh is here. He's around. Mark is not here. So this is going to be the special thing when Mark is editing this thing later. If you ladies will stay quiet, he's going to slip. He's going to put this thing into the episode, or he's going to be really taken aback when he listens to it. So my wife Stephanie, she's around here somewhere, but she missed she missed the ferry.
She's shopping or something,
and that's all she's been doing. And
good luck getting it all in your suitcase.
This is the question we want to ask: what have you ladies been doing?
Sleeping.
Yes, we did. We had some peanut butter and jelly wings today.
And how were they? 1 out of 10. What were they?
They were. Well, my answer is going to be different than hers. I would say I give it a solid 8, 8.5.
Sarah, what do you say? Do you say an 8?
I'm not a wing woman, so I'm going to go with a 4. I expected it to be a little more saucy.
Those were from a trailer
park.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, Treylor, the owner's name is Trey. And when he went to college, they made fun of him, and they called him Trailer Park because of his southern accent, and that's where it came from.
So he turned that thing around and made it to something positive.
Yeah, he said, suck it, everybody.
Okay, so if you could say one crazy thing about your spouse, like what is something that listeners don't know?
Some listeners may not know that when Mark was younger, he dressed as a pirate for the summer.
An entire summer?
An entire summer. Just for fun. No, not for fun. It was his job.
Oh.
Yes, at a camp. And he would take kids out on a boat. But he fully committed to the role as a pirate. And he may still have the outfit.
Oh, we might need a picture of that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone out on the porch sometimes, and he has it on, and I'm like, hey, what are we doing?
Those pants are now like shorts.
That's right. It's a halter top now, but I just...
Mark, put your belly away.
He's a sexy man, yes.
Okay, Annette, Josh is actually walking out of the room. This is going to be great. Annette, what's your special message?
This is really hard because...
What's your special message?
Josh is pretty open on the podcast about what he's like, and everybody knows that he's, a little on the pessimistic kind of side.
Yeah, you came to one of our sessions, and he was always the guy that was saying, no, don't do that.
He's the no man. Yeah. And in our house, he always says yes to me, though. So that's important.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
Well, Josh and Mark, they're pretty cool dudes.
They are.
Yes.
I have a wonderful husband. He is
That's
the
nice.
best. He really is.
If Stephanie were here, I'm sure she would say the same things about me.
guarantee
And that
she
wraps
would.
up our segment. Sarah and Annette, it's been great having you on the K12 Tech Talk podcast. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for letting, and I say this to Stephanie too, maybe she'll listen to this. Thank you for supporting our antics and letting us do this stupid podcast together.
Absolutely. You guys are amazing.
You guys are great. We love it.
Love it. The GAMEIS conference has been great. We've seen a lot of familiar faces and familiar sponsors. Sponsors like Fortinet. Fortinet's here. You can email FortinetPodcast@Fortinet.com for all your Fortinet needs. Saw Lightspeed here as well. They have a screen time tracking solution now. They have an insight solution. Of course, their content filter, other solutions like that. Check out Lightspeed. NTP is here. You hear us say live from NTP Studios. NTP is here. David and Zach, they do your cybersecurity, your SOC, your email scanning solution, all that good stuff. They did a session or two here at GAMEIS as well. And then we saw Steven with CyberNut here. CyberNut can do your phishing. Think of them as a great know-before, a K-12-centered know-before alternative. Check out CyberNut. Well, boys, it's been real.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
But has it been real fun?
It has been real fun.
Real fun.
Beautiful Savannah, Georgia. We get to hang out for a couple days together.
Hot Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
Mark, this is not meant in a disparaging way whatsoever.
I know what you're going to say.
You seem to have a problem with the heat.
I do.
Yeah, I felt bad
sweaty.
last night. I felt bad.
I don't do the heat. This is awful.
You don't have a built-in radiator.
Your mood changed. You're sweating all over the place.
Yeah.
I was walking behind you. I slipped.
That was the
Because the sweat?
No, that was the vomit on the street.
Oh yeah, that was vomit. GAMEIS has been great. We got to hear some of the challenges that districts are facing. They're coming into that cell phone ban this coming school year. That's a real deal. Is that you too? AI still hot topic.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear the same conversation of meaningful screen time versus just screen time. Like, it shouldn't be a screen time ban, but a conversation around, are we using our time on screen in a meaningful way educationally?
Yeah. Conversations really coming together around people understanding that screen time is a challenge, it is a problem, and there are areas that we do need to clean up. But the answer to that is more meaningful, purposeful use of technology, which I think everybody can coalesce around.
Yep. And I love their pipeline for CETL certification. They started that last year or the year before. I love that idea.
Yeah, yeah. GAMEIS does a really great job down here.
And they put on a really good conference. Headshots, I'm a sucker for a headshot, apparently. Every conference that I go to that has headshots.
This guy's walking away with a brand new gigantic Yeti cooler.
Yeah, there's like 3 booths giving away Yeti coolers in there. Drones.
Did you update your LinkedIn profile yet?
Not yet. I haven't gotten the edited headshot yet, but I will be updating my LinkedIn profile. There's a make your own hat booth and fanny pack or sling bag, whatever they're called.
Well, we called it the fanny pack. Mark and I both got fanny packs yesterday.
Yeah, but then we realized you don't put them on your fannies anymore.
No, you wear them as a
that got really
crossbody. Yeah.
Like, why are those guys putting them on their fannies?
Yeah, well, it was only weird when Mark tried to get into your fanny pack.
And why do they keep calling it a fanny pack?
But very cool fanny pack station.
There's a sketch artist over there, a caricature artist over there. Paint by number, which was super cool.
There were also some workshops, but other things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's some fun here. There's great hospitality here. They did the ice cream social. I know they're doing a thing on a boat as well.
Mm-hmm.
They want families to come to those events. That's super cool that they're thinking through the logistics of that.
Yeah.
Good community here. Lots of school districts knowing each other. The session that we were in, there was one guy that was presenting a problem, and another guy raised his hand that he had a solution.
Yeah.
He had some advice to give with that. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering, should I go to GAMEIS? I'm not from Georgia. Yeah, you should. If you're listening to this and you're in Georgia, should I go to GAMEIS? Yes, you should. Their attendance is up, and it's climbing still.
Yeah, there's a map somewhere around here that shows all the districts that are here. It's significantly increased since last year, so huge growth.
I guess thank you, GAMEIS, for having us. We appreciated the booth, the glass walls. We do prefer next year if we can give like any whatever that we are moved and facing the river again.
Yep.
But we don't care because we don't have egos and we don't.
We're gonna have a rider though. green M&Ms only.
Anyway, thanks again, GAMEIS, beautiful Savannah, Georgia. We are out.
We might not be the same. You share the same pain that I do.
The views and opinions expressed on the K12 Tech Talk podcast are the personal opinions of Josh, Chris, and Mark, and do not represent the views or opinions of our sponsors or other organizations that we're affiliated with. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
We were buying words about